Harvey Prince.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, mate. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me on. How are you?
No worries. I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's been
Stuff.
been a busy couple months, but it's a good busy as always.
As always, yeah. Good
So, Harvey is the creator of Crep Candle, as you can see here. Fucking sick shit. I can't even lie.
Yeah, boy.
So, for people that don't know Harvey, do you want to explain what your product is, Crep Candle?
Yeah. So, basically, my product is where do you want me to start with it? Just a product.
Yeah.
So basically, I create candles in the shape of like the most popular sneakers. So, for example, at the moment, I've got Jordan 1, Air Force 1, TN, Yeezy 700s, Air Max 95, and lots of other stuff on the way, which is coming. But yeah, basically just making sneakers in the shape of candles.
So where did the idea come from? How did you start? Because you've not been doing it for too long, have you?
Yeah, so I've been doing it. I've been selling them for about 7 months, and I've had the idea. I came up with the idea about what are we in now?
We're in May.
January, February, March. It was like March last year while we was in uni.
So it was just before lockdown.
It was.
It
must have been. It was as it was starting.
Yeah.
As lockdown was starting. So whenever that was. And it was basically because we were stuck inside for ages. I thought, well, I may as well do my room up. Well, not do it up. I weren't going to be painting the walls and giving it a fresh lick of paint. But I just thought I'd buy a nice candle. I just thought I'd get some nice stuff for the room. Went looking for a candle, and like you always find your standard candles in a jar, but I was looking for something, like a bit different, something
that
unique,
stands out.
something that stood out, and it stood on the side. I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool, check candles out, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't find anything. And then I'd just done a course on entrepreneurship, so that led me on to the idea of Crep Candle, and I was looking down at shoes. Love sneakers myself, like I'm always trying to pick them up, can never do, because obviously they're always just selling out on the...
I love
it's all raffles
sneakers
these days, isn't it? But
you basically we know a good friend of our, Caleb, Boy Better Kicks. He's got his own bots, but like,
yeah, it's still a myth.
Even he's got bots, and even he struggles to get shoes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's hard, but yeah. Anyway, I put the idea of everyone loves sneakers. You know what I mean? People are passionate about the sneakerheads, and I thought a wick would just sit perfectly. Right in where you'd put your foot, and surely it could burn down. So anyway, I had the idea. I had the idea. I went and looked, and I saw that it had been done before, but there was nowhere to actually go and buy them. So I knew it was possible. I knew it was possible to do them. And then from then on, it was just a case of I was pretty much finishing uni as well. So I was in uni at the same time as this was happening. So I was balancing doing that.
What were you doing at uni?
I was doing business management and marketing.
So like it fit in well.
Yeah, so it fit in quite well with kind of the direction that I wanted to go with, especially when I was leaving uni. I didn't really know what I wanted to kind of actually get into, but I knew I was business related. What was I talking about?
But how you started Crep Candle and how you were just finishing off uni.
Yeah, so I was just finishing off uni, so I was also working at Lidl, so it was a bit hard to balance. I couldn't get full in straight at it.
Dissertation as well, your final year. I can imagine there's a lot of stress going on there.
Loads of stress with that, loads of stress with everything else, moving back home. So this process of me coming up with the idea and then actually coming down with the candle took me about 6 to 7 months to come out with the final
product.
I came out with the actual, like, not the final products, but I came out with the candle. It took me around 5 months to actually make one and do it and pull it out and see it
for the first time.
And it was once I seen it, I was like, it's done. I've done
clicked.
it. I just need to make this as good as it can possibly be. Like, it needs to be perfect quality, perfect this, perfect that. And it was just a case of perfecting it along the road, and yeah, I have done now. So,
well, 7 months down the line, your business has literally boomed so much. I've seen so many people with it on. James is one of them, of course. And I've been told you have had a few, I wouldn't say celebrities, but a few fairly big people that have asked you to do their stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been 7 months, and some of the talks I've had so far has literally been mad. Like, just the people who are even in the DMs, like just messaging asking for a candle. Like Central C,
That's crazy.
Sent him out a candle. Just sent one to Dane Rashford, Rashford's brother.
Oh yeah.
Manager, sent one in. Loads of people had that Megan Barton Hansen. She messaged
from Love Island.
Yeah, from Love Island. She messaged asking for one, and then she just fucking ignored me. But it is one of them. Isn't it?
It is what it is.
Yeah, I've had big stars as well. Big stars get in contact.
And how does that feeling relate to you when you know that there are so many people of a high caliber, if you like, especially if you're saying that there's high businesses, high stores, when they're trying to get involved at such a early stage of the business, because it's literally very, very young, the business.
Very young.
How hard is it to stay focused and to not get lost? Because when you're up and coming and you've got all of these people that are trying to want to get involved, it's a good sign that things are going well. At the same time, it's like, I can imagine people are also trying to grab a piece of what you've built so quickly. So
yeah, you've got to be really careful. Like the last 6 months, 7 months, I've learnt more about everything than I have in the last 21 years.
In terms of what? In terms of just the business aspect
just
of things?
Business. Like I've learnt more in the last 7 months of owning my own business than I have in studying business for the last 3 years, because I'm doing it.
It's actually practical.
And I'm getting results back. Or sometimes I'm not getting results back, and then you can evaluate and see that, kind of. So
you do all the work yourself, don't you?
Everything.
So what part of the process can you talk about? Because obviously you don't want to spill the beans of how you actually do it, but how do you go from finding, right, for example, the Jordan? You find the Jordan shoe. What's the next step from there? When you know what shoe you want to make into a candle, where does it go from there?
So basically, you have to create a mould from them. You have to create a mould. That's obvious. Everyone knows them. But that's the stuff that takes a while. That's what took me quite a while to master. When coming out with the perfected actual candle itself. Because there's a lot of working with clay, different other materials. I can
imagine it's pretty. Is it how physical is the job?
I mean, it's. I'm always walking. I'm just walking back and forth, just walking in circles, just picking stuff up. I'm always sweating my back off because it's about 100 degrees. I've got 25 stoves on. So yeah, it is pretty physical. It's more physical. It's more demanding on the brain, if you know what I mean. Because I'm constantly trying to come up with everything, and at the same time,
fast-paced environment.
Yeah, I'm making the moulds. I'm making the candles. I'm making the new candles. Doing the marketing campaigns.
Doing it all yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've got Joel Hurst. He helps me out on. He edits some of the photos. Helps me out with ideas. Sending emails out and stuff like that. Them little bits that I've not got. When it's drop time. Yeah. It's 6:45. And I'm like, everything needs doing proper quick, proper rapid. Joel helps me out with all that stuff. And my mum as well. Big up my mum. She helps me out with everything. She's always in doing boxes and stuff.
Shout out mum.
Yeah.
Mums are always. I always shout out my mum on this podcast. Sure. They are so great.
Yeah, legend.
So, when you had the idea to make Crep Candle, and knowing that it was such a unique idea, were you hesitant to let people know of your idea before you actually turned it into a physical product? How many people did you actually tell about your idea? I
told all my friends, but it was one of them. It was people. When I told people my idea, I laugh now at it because I can remember some of the reactions that I got. People just used to laugh and they were like, what? And then, you know what I mean? He's laughing now, sort of thing. But
was that ever disheartening, people that were you considered friends and sort of laughing at your idea?
No, they weren't really laughing, to be fair. It was just more of a case of no one had done it before. Well, you haven't seen it anywhere, so it's. I mean, I still now a lot of the time when I advertise on Facebook, when you get mums and stuff, they're always laughing at it and just taking the mix. So you're always going to get them people. But I let my friends know about it. I let my family know about it. I kept it quite secret on Instagram. I didn't post it on anything for 5-6 months really, and then it was just when I got one that was kind of looking alright. I'd whacked it on my story, and then people had popped up saying where have you got this from? Hey, that's what I wanted to hear.
So was that your test to see what people were going to think of it?
Yeah, just whack it up, see if I get any reactions back, see how it goes. But I thought, by that point I'd already had the product. I'd already invested a fair bit into it. I'd invested a lot of time, So I was always going to go through with it. I was just hoping for a bit of a good reaction back, and it did. So
obviously, I
just hope I weren't making big lumps of wax that I wanted to buy. The last thing I wanted to do.
So again, because the business is in its early days,
Yeah.
like I said, it took you so many months just to create the final product. When you had that first release, it sold out pretty quickly as well, didn't it?
Yeah, the first release, I get lost with them all, to be honest. I think the first release took like 24 hours or so. I didn't have too many up on then because I couldn't make as many. I was in my kitchen still. I was still at home in my mum's kitchen when I was doing this. And the first release, it was like so there was interest, especially for like, I was so new. I only had like 200 followers. It went like really well compared to what I thought it could have done. And then it was just a case of working on that advertising, campaigning, and then I did a second drop, and then that went well. And then it was Christmas. It got to Christmas and I did a pre-order, and that was my best month because I pretty much said I'm going to stop accepting orders once I reach my capacity. Yeah. So I filled out my capacity and made as many as I could. So that was like my best month. I was absolutely buzzing. Did like 150 of them. I was gassed. I was literally like two and a half months into it. And then it was the first drop in January, and I was sat with Joel, and we expected like 20 people on the store, and then we went on it, and there was like 200 people, and we were going mad. Like, still couldn't believe it.
How does that feel? Like, even thinking back, like I could see your reaction.
Unreal, mate. It was just sick to know like people wanted to spend money on something I'd spent so much time, and invested in. Something
that people appreciating the work that you put in.
Yeah, literally, and it weren't going to waste. You know what I mean? I was getting somewhere with it. It was always what I wanted to do as well, own my own business. So it was a nice
sort of success moment.
Yeah.
Did you ever, even though like you said, it was such a great feeling that 200 people were on your store, but you were only predicting to maybe have like 20, 30 people on, was it ever overwhelming at that point?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect it to go up so quick at all. I didn't see it coming really. I weren't prepared for it, or I went on that store, like, I'd clicked on it like 10 minutes to, and there was like 3 people on the website, and I thought, there's a couple of people on, that's alright, let's see how it gets closer. And as it got closer, and like, I'd put something on my story and then posted and got the email sent out, and everyone just started flooding in. I was like, wow, yeah, it's buzzing, my hard work's paid off. Like,
how many candles have you sold so far?
I don't know exactly how many I've sold. I'm up to like, I know my order number, I'm into like, I've had over 700 orders.
That's fucking quality.
Yeah, so I've averaged over like 120 a month.
Yeah, that's solid, mate.
I was only doing like 20 in my first month, if you know what I mean. So.
And that's only 7 months into the business, and you're already hitting those numbers, which many businesses struggle. Like startup companies, like clothing brands or whatever, they probably don't get those numbers when they're first starting off in those 7 months.
No, definitely not. I mean, I think it's just because it's just niche, innit? It's just something new that no one's really seen before, and I just think I caught people's attention with it really. So.
How many candles do you reckon you make in a day?
Well,
doing them by yourself, obviously.
The most I can make in a day is about, now actually, because I've got some new stuff on the way, keep an eye out, can do about 20 in a day, solid. But I couldn't do that every day. Like, it
takes it out on you.
Yeah, it's heavy work, it's not easy work. People think I just turn up, melt some wax and then put them in a box and go home. It's not, it's like, it's a graft.
So like, say we're at the end of May now. Say if you were going to announce that you had a drop on the 30th of June and you were going to say, I don't know, you're going to sell 250, how long would it take you to give you enough time to make sure there's enough comfortable time to make all the products, make sure the product is, because you don't also want to rush the work and give a shit job.
Well, what I basically used to do, because I couldn't make them quick enough anyway, as it was, like they were just flying, so it was just a case of I'd give them the restock date, which would be it'd be fortnightly, so it'd be the middle of the month and the end of the month, most of the time on a Sunday, one of the good days. And I'd just say, look, these are releasing on this day, it's going to be a limited release, grab one if you can. And they just
go out.
They used to just go in like 10 minutes, just used to fly off, and then just try and make more. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing at the moment, is I'm trying to make them now so they're ready and prepared.
For sure. So you don't have that stress. You're not rushing yourself.
So it's not like
yeah.
It's not like just days in between, because that's what it was. Because it all happened so quick, it didn't give me any time to build stock or anything. It was just a case of getting them made if they were right, boxing them up.
I can imagine as well if you're taking your time making the product before, it also probably gives you more time to spend on allocating the right amount of time for marketing and all that sort of stuff. So
literally, that's one thing I've had since what's it called? Like the last couple of months, I've been focusing a lot on the new stuff that's going to be brought out. I've not brought any of it out yet, to be fair.
When can you
I was just
preview when the release date might be?
I've got a release coming at the end of the month that's got a new thing on it. It's not I won't. In fact, it'll be released by the time. So new fragrance is coming out on the 30th. That's Peng. What is it? Vanilla and sandalwood.
Oh.
Yeah, mega. Then I've got a new collection that's coming out at the end of next month, and then I've got 2 new silhouettes as well that are coming out within like the next 2 months, 3 months.
Depends. You're a busy man, Harvey.
Busy man. That's what I mean. I've been trying to perfect them, get them mastered and done. So, I've got the months in advance. If anything goes wrong, I can sort that. I can get it all sorted out, and no stress, no bother.
So what I want to know is, obviously you've got different models of shoes as candles. Like I said, you've got these Jordans, you've got CNs.
Yeah.
Does the design matter in terms of how long it actually takes to make a shoe?
What do you mean?
So like, will the TN take you longer to make the mold than the Jordan, for example?
Yeah,
or the other way around.
Yeah, there's certain shoes that take like a lot more detail than the others. Like the Jordans. The Jordans take me ages. The Air Force, because it was my first shoe, like I've really got them, like how to do them proper. So I don't have to go over anything or, spend any extra unnecessary time making sure that they're perfect. The Jordans, they still take me a while just because you're
still getting used to it.
It's an odd shape. It's a high top shoe, so it comes with different difficulties that, it's just difficulties of the job sort of thing.
Would you say that's the hardest candle you've had to make?
Yeah. The black one, the black Jordan one. That's why I got priced the highest, because I break more than I actually sell.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realise it. I didn't actually think of that. I can imagine you.
Yeah, the wastage.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, why are you charging that for a candle? Like, that's a fair price, believe me. Like, in terms of like all the other expenses and the wastage, and it's.
I can imagine it's a lot. So, would you also say that's your favourite shoe that you've made because of how lot, or would you?
I'd say the new one, the 95.
Oh yeah.
The 95 is mega. It's sick. That one. It's like it picks up all the textures, so it's got like the mesh netting at the top. You can see all the mesh, and then lines as well, and it's chunky as well. It's like 1.5 kilograms, the 95. So it's.
I didn't realise how much weight they actually.
Yeah, it's quite heavy. That's the first thing people say though is, wow, they've got a bit of weight to them.
How long do you reckon they last? Obviously, people have them burning at different times.
Most people don't burn them. So
just keep them.
Yeah, just keep them.
What do you do? Do you burn? What was he? You've got loads, so you can burn all yours. Yeah.
I'll get frazzled. The Jordans though, they can burn for like 60 hours.
Fucking hell.
The other ones, it's around 35 to 40 hours. But yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a very long time for a candle.
So at the beginning, like you said, your product was pretty obsolete. There weren't any other really people out there doing what you're doing. In the 7 months where your business has grown, how have you seen the competition change? And is it something that you, I wouldn't say constantly check up on, but you've been obviously a good entrepreneur, something that you have to keep checks on?
Yeah, for sure. Since I've started it, within like a month, there was people. I've had 2 people start up Instagram accounts who tried scamming people using my products. Like saying that they have them, using my images, and then creating a Shopify and everything to buy them through, and then obviously they've not got anything to send, because I know they've not. Like, I know the process, I know it'd take them time. If they did, they'd take their own pictures of it.
Has that had any backlash on you or not?
Nah, to be fair, a lot of my followers who follow and buy the products, they'll message me as soon as they see something, especially if it's one of them. There's people who have started it since I've done it, who have done it completely like off their own back. Like, they've not copied anything I've done, they've not copied any of the marketing techniques, the wax, the shape. You know, it's different in some way, and I can respect that because you know what I mean. Everyone's
out there trying to get their own.
Everyone's doing their own thing, but it's the people who try and take my work and say it's their work. It's like today I've got someone asking around in a mould making guild, asking who can make a mould for his candles, saying that he's the first in the UK that does it, and people who helps him start this business up can have a share in the company. Like I posted on his thing saying, lad, like why are you trying to lie to people? Like there's no point. If you're gonna do it proper. Like
people
no
just,
problem with that.
You're always gonna find people that want to cut corners just to make their own money.
Which I've had ones that copy everything, like flaming the logo, same structured thingy, same website, same everything, but it's never going to work when you copy people, if you know what I mean? So I don't really worry too much, as long as I'm working on everything. And
so would you say you're still at the top of the game, if you like?
Yeah.
For now?
Yeah, forever, mate.
But hope I can imagine it keeps you on your toes, though.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
If you don't have any competition, then it's just like...
Yeah, it's one of them. It's if you don't have the competition, then you become lazy.
Yeah, for sure. Because it becomes easy because you think there's the comfortability of knowing...
If there was no one else that did it, it's like, right, well, where else are they going to go? You know what I mean? If they want that candle, they've kind of got to come through. But when there's competition, it's like, right, I've got to prove to them why mine's the best. Kind of thing. And it is the best. I know it's the best. It's just about marketing it, promoting it, and letting people know, you know. I don't want them to go buy some rubbish.
No, definitely not.
You need mine. You need a Crep Candle.
Completely different topic, but I forgot to get a drink, mate. Would you mind if I have a beer?
Go for it. Go for it. I've got some lime in my bag as well.
Oh, mate, if you've got a lime, I won't say no.
You've got a bottle opener?
There's one down there. Tell you what, my guest sorted me out. It should be the other way around.
It's not that. Hey, we got a knife as well.
Oh shit, we actually do.
Perfect.
And I'm fucking making a tit of myself trying to open
it.
it.
Matt's got it on here. Or
yeah, of course, mate.
Your bartending skills coming in here. Used to work in a bar.
Mate, what bars are you working?
I used to work at Revsy Cuba.
Yeah, in town?
In Leeds.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, when I was at uni.
How long were you a bartender for?
About a year and a half.
What do you think?
Nightmare, lad.
Mate, I was a bartender for a lot of like my first couple of jobs in Leeds for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
I've worked in Manor on Greek Street. I've worked. Cheers, by the way. You've not got a.
Cheers. We're gonna say anything. Cheers, pal.
Cheers. Thank you.
No problem. Manhattan. Which one? I've been in. There's a couple in Leeds.
Yeah. So there's one in Headingley. There's one on Merrion Street. And I worked on the one on Greek Street. That was
the Greek Street.
Yeah. You know Tom John Cena that we were just on about. Yeah. He worked there as well. That's how I got to meet him. Yeah.
Everyone's got a proper close ex-work mate.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm trying to think. I had like the first bar job. What are you laughing at? Shout out John Cena. My first bar job was working in Hilton in the city. So, it's just past the train station, and I literally I quit after maybe like 6 or 7 shifts. But the best thing I took away from that job was I met Josh Warrington when I was working there. So I was working in like the reception bar, and someone had called for room service for a glass of red wine, and I went to the top. It was literally at the top of the hotel, and it was before Josh Warrington had his first his first title fight. And I walked up, I came out the elevator, went to give this woman her red wine, but she was literally at the end of a hall.
Yeah. And
I think it was fight week for Warrington, and he was literally just there warming up with his dad, hitting pads in the lobby. I was like, "Sound nice to meet you, lad." Yeah. And I've met him a few times. Josh Warrington is such a safe bloke, Leeds born and bred.
Yeah, that was a highlight of you.
Yeah, I was there for 6 shifts. That's the only thing I took away from it. But working at Manor on Greek Street, I mean, you worked in town, so you know the madness of it.
Carnage. It's absolute carnage. The hours as well.
Oh, mate. Minimum wage?
Minimum wage. What was I on? I don't think it was minimum, to be fair. I think it was like $6.70. Or it might have been $5.70. I
think that might be minimum wage, because when I was that was 2 years ago, I was on like £6.10. I think it was like £6.10, something like that. And mate, the fucked up thing was, right, being at Manor on Greek Street, every other bar on that place. You got Neighbourhood, forget what the name of the others, but they all shut at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. So everyone floods in yours.
Mate, we finished at 3 o'clock. We were obviously Manhattan's owned by the same company as Box, which is in town now as well. So Box would finish at 1. Everyone would come in, and then when they finished their breakdown, when we closed our doors, they'd come and piss about drinking when we're trying to do our breakdown. And mate, I tell you what, the mess and the amount of fucking broken glass that's in a place after a night out is crazy.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's like, you know, when you see like girls running around clubs with no shoes on, they're crazy. They're absolutely crazy.
Does that sound, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't miss working in a bar at all. Like I said, completely unsociable hours. I remember numerous times coming out of work and it being like early enough.
Yeah.
It was like I could get a Mackey's breakfast.
Yeah, every time I used to come out of work, the birds would be tweeting, the sun would come up. I always used to do like 5 5s or 10 5s. So like, well, you say you finish at 5,
yeah,
you don't.
It's
you
definitely not.
7.
I literally had the same thing. It was Friday and Saturday. You had to work it, no questions asked, and it's a 5 close, 5 finish.
And it's like if Revs used to close at 3, so we're rotating at finishing for 5.
Is that the one at the electric press?
No, this is bottom of
Core Lane.
Core Lane.
Oh my god, that's rough. Even worse.
Absolutely rough. So it's like on a Saturday, rotating to finish at 5. You start packing up at 3. You're not breaking a bar down in 2 hours. Never mind a bar. 2 bars, long bars, and cleaning and restocking. Like you didn't come out till like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning.
And then you got to wait for the managers to cash up, and then they come and they check, and there's always fucking
then
something.
Then you got to have a pint as well after. You got to have that religious pint after you finish work. Then by the time you get home, you know you're in uni in about 2 hours.
It's honestly it's a hanging
Sunday
feeling.
About 4 p.m.
The one thing that I at least took away from working in the bar, especially working in town, is you do see some funny stuff. And like in the moment, like 12 to 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm presuming you obviously had a few drinks, as most bartenders do. You're drinking on shift. That's probably the most enjoyable part of the shift. You're just chatting shit, you're serving people, but then at the same time working in town, you get some right pricks.
Yeah, loads of pricks. Loads of them. It's full of them. You used to get at least like 1 a night.
Oh, more than one a night.
At least 1 a night. Well, I mean, to be fair, when you're behind the bar, you know, serving people drinks, it's like 1 in 2, realistically, isn't it? But that's how people are when they're pissed.
Mate, people are just fucking pricks sometimes.
That's us when we're pissed, probably.
Yeah, probably there sometimes. So, did you create the logo for Crep Candle yourself as well?
Yeah, funny story about the logo is I was umming and ahhing over that for time. And the name, it was going to be Crep Candle Co.
Crep Candle Co. What made you change your mind?
Because I thought, why am I adding Co? Because Crep Candle sounds...
Was it Co for company, I'm presuming?
Yeah. Just CCC, you know, everything was C. I thought, that's banging that. Crep Candle Co. And then I was like, no, shorten it, Crep Candle. And then I started off with, you know, the flame that I use as my logo now. My initial idea was to have that hovering as sort of like 3D. And then you have like a dropped shadow underneath.
Yeah.
I wanted the dropped shadow to be in the shape of like a foot, you know, like a footprint.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Complex though.
Yeah, complex. Yeah. It was one of them. And it's 3D logos, they're an absolute nightmare. You know, putting on like promotional content, and it's just a myth. It's just a bit of a nightmare. So I got rid of the 3D idea, seen what else I could come up with, and ended up just stripping it back to literally the first flame that I thought, that looks nice, that, and then I, what's it called, trademarked it, and then.
Did you ever have?
Simplicity is key.
Simplicity is key. That's the thing. A lot of people overcomplicate their ideas.
Yeah.
And the brand message might get lost, or the over complexity of it might just lose interest because
literally.
You don't want to know. Like I said, you don't want to
be simple. Sometimes
simple is definitely the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
What were your nerves when you were making that first step of I've got the logo, got the first product? I can imagine good nerves, but it was also like you said, like you'd invested a lot of money into it.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I weren't earning. I was as I'd left uni, I was working in Lidl in Ratcliffe in my hometown. So I was getting like decent wage, you know, part-time hours wage. But all of that, every single bit that I was earning, it was all going back into
it,
Crep Candle. So I was thinking, there was a worry of all this I've lumped on, like, is it gonna is it going to return anything? Is it going to be worth my time?
Worth the risk.
My money, my risk, everything. And then, it was just nice.
Did you have any creeps of doubt at all?
Yeah, you've always. Yeah. I think it's unnatural if you don't have any, bit of doubt. I think if you don't have any doubt, you're a bit, a bit too cocky then, aren't you? You don't want to go too cocky.
You got to be humble.
You got to be humble. You got to be realistic as well. You can't just look at things from your point of view. You got to try and understand everyone else's point of view and what they might think, and
understand the market.
And make sure everything's on point. I didn't slip up with anything really. So that's the thing. I mean, I still slip up with things now.
Yeah,
it's a case of learning.
I was going to say, you've got to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, like I said, you never learn.
Literally.
I remember when we were speaking at Femi's, we had a brief conversation about people coming into your life now that obviously you've been a bit successful. How have you managed to deal with your circle of mates, knowing that you're now being successful and having to filter out people that are coming in for the right and wrong reasons?
I think, I don't know, it has been a tricky one, to be honest. I think I've had a lot of issues. I don't think any of them it's not been people, kind of coming in, trying to leech off success or leech off this or leech off that. There's been a lot of, obviously there's jealousy, loads of jealousy.
Which you're always going to get.
Always going to get. It's fine to be jealous, of course. I mean, I would be. But there's sometimes there's a certain point with your mates, you got to look past that and congratulate and support. Yeah. Support being the main one. But it's just a big eye opener, I think, with this for me. It gives me a huge understanding of who is actually supporting me and who is there for me and who I can rely on. And it's just from that then that's made me kind of be like, all right, these are the people I'm going to start spending more time with. I'm maybe going to move away from that. It's
not easy. But
it's definitely not. It's definitely not. But it's one of them. It's learning how to balance everything and people's opinions and.
I guess that's one of the good things about us being so young as well. When you go through things at the young age that we still are, we can't really speak about the future because we're still so young ourselves. But I can only imagine that going through experiences like that at a young age will definitely help in your maturity and your growth.
For sure. I mean, I'm big on that. I'm hugely big on that. On the whole, your experiences, what you do, who you're with, the impact it has on you and everything that you'll do, and in the later years of your life and months and weeks, it's huge. You've got to be really careful about who you surround yourself with, because there's people out there who, they can be nice to you, but they won't be looking out.
Yeah, they've not got your best interests.
And when you need them, and if they're not there for you, then there was no point ever kind of. It's not friendship. If they're not there when you need them, it's kind of fake sort of thing.
It's got to go both ways.
It's got to go both ways. It's one of them. It's life experiences. We're so young. It's just a case of speaking to different people and not being angry at people as well for who they are, sort of thing.
Oh, for sure. You've got to be the bigger person in many situations.
The bigger person and kind of make everything civil as well. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We're all getting grown up now. You know what I mean. We've all got our own opinions, our own directions. No one's going to be best mates forever.
No.
Well, I mean, people are going to be best mates forever, but you're never going to have that same big circle of friends
for sure.
that we have when we're younger. If you go to your mum and dad, they all will say, "Oh, I've only got 5 friends." It's for a reason.
It's for sure, and you can just manage people that you trust a lot better.
Yeah.
And from speaking to people that are older than me, as you might do yourself, I've got a few older mates, and the one thing that I've got from them is that, your 20s is literally the period in your life where you're finding yourself, as fucking hippie as that might sound. Yeah. You're finding yourself, and you go through loads of different friendship groups, if you like, because you've got to, I wouldn't say filtering out sounds a bit bad, but you've got to go through those phases of, like you said, seeing who's best for you, making sure the people around you are there for you for the right reasons, and making and it goes both ways for you yourself as well, because I've changed. I'm a completely different person to what I was a year ago. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it might not even be their fault. It's like you've changed.
Yeah.
That's all it is at the end of the day.
And that's okay.
That is okay, and that's like I always try and say that to people, like if you have a problem with someone, it shouldn't be hidden or
No.
you know what I mean. Not even if you have a problem, but if you don't like being around them, you don't have to force to be around them. Like we're old enough now to make our own decisions. We meet so many people, especially being in uni. Like you meet so many different people in uni who have so many different opinions and ideas on life and where they want to go. You know, you get an idea through speaking to all these people of who, like. You listen to these conversations and you think, yo, that sounds like what I want to do. But if you're listening to someone, they're like, yo, I want to go do this and then do that, and you're like,
not about me.
Over my head.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be chilling with them all the time, sort of thing.
Well, you think how different everyone is. Even people that you're close to, like everyone's got their own difference.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what makes it nice.
Everyone's hugely different, and I think. Sometimes when when you come up in your high school or your college or your younger friendship groups, you're all the same.
Yeah.
Because you've all grown up as a kid and you're all the same and you've all got the same banter. And then as you grow up, you obviously everyone changes. Like I've had this conversation with so many people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't speak to as many people who I used to when I grew up with." And it's just what you do as you get older, isn't it? It's just
I was literally going to say, I literally don't speak to anyone from my school really. Obviously there's a few that I keep in touch with every now and again, give a message, and I sat on people, lovely people I still consider friends, but I wouldn't say there's anyone that I went to school with that I'd say like, oh yeah, he's still my boy really. Like there's a couple of people back home that when I met when I was in college, they're my boys, and there's only like 3 or 4 of them, and whenever I go back home they know who they are. But like I said, it's a handful of people.
It is though, isn't it? It's the ones that are there's always your best mates in it. You know, you've gone through primary and high school with, and they're always going to be there no matter what. Like they're the friendships. Like you can change. Like one guy can be sat in, playing, just collecting Lego and stuff. Playing that. The next person could be going sessioning out of Ibiza, but they'll still be like best mates.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Up together, but
for sure.
That's like. You can grow apart and do your different things, and you're not bothered because you know your best mate, sort of thing. Like, I like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So you had obviously the whole Crep Candle thing. Like I said, it's happened all so quickly, and you didn't even realise that it would be a thing.
Yeah.
Like when you grew up, obviously, like I said, you went into uni to do business, and sounds like you already had an idea that you wanted to be some sort of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What were your goals when you were growing up, and has the whole Crep Candle situation changed any of that, or?
My goals growing up, it's funny actually because I've always been a bit unclear and uncertain, but I've always knew what the end goal was. Like I've always wanted the end goal of like financial freedom for the family, being me and my mum, and like obviously my little cousins and everyone else who's going to be coming up. I want financial freedom like more than anything. So I knew I wanted that, and I knew to do that I had to be rich. So you know what I mean. And looking at the people who are rich, I just thought business. I went straight to business, and it was kind of what I've been hooked on since college. I used to want to be a pilot when I was a kid. Wore glasses, that got wrote off. So the idea of business, and then I was never going to go uni. I was never going to go to uni, and then I was talking over it with someone, and then they persuaded me to go uni, and went uni, and that's where I ended up meeting all my boys pretty much. I
feel like people miss out on the uni experience. Sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like
100%.
Even if like I know loads of people that have come to uni and not really for the course as a lot of people are, just for the experience. And people are afraid to, maybe because I don't want to put myself in a couple £1,000 worth of debt, and I can understand that point of view, but it's a completely different lifestyle. Like if you always live at home and you're always around the same people, your perception on things, like my perception on life has changed so much just because I've been able to come and experience this life. You
get a wider opening, of what everything's like and what the real world's actually like, don't you? It is a bit mad. So what was I saying?
Yeah, you were saying your mate, like you were speaking to your mate about changing to go to uni.
Ended up going to uni, picking business because that was the the one thing. If I wanted to do anything, it was business. So I went, like you said though, I went into uni. I weren't asked at all about getting no grade, no nothing. I've never been asked. I was never asked about getting good grades in this, getting good grades in that. It was always just a case of getting through it, sort of thing. Came to uni, did business, met everyone, and it was along this kind of uni plan how I've got here pretty much, because I met all my mates in uni, obviously, so I've got all my boys here, and then it was in uni where I decided to study abroad in Australia. So I did that my second term and my second year for like 6 months, and that's where I studied entrepreneurship. That's where it gave me
the passion came from.
It gave me the ability to be able to think, of new ideas, and that's where Crep Candle came. So if I never came to uni, I don't know if Crep Candle would have been a thing, sort of thing. But yeah, coming back to your same question, I always wanted to own my own business. That's what I wanted to do. I was always business.
You're lucky that at such a young age, you're technically, even though it may not be as big as you wish just yet, you're still living the dream.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's important to follow your dreams and to take those risks. Like I know I probably brag on about it a lot on these podcasts, but it is so important to just say fuck it and try it, because
if you don't take the risk, you're not gonna
reap the awards. Say the same thing. But it's so true in so many aspects, because think of how many people get to like 30, 40 and they're too old, and then they start, then they're sitting at home and they regret. They're like, oh fuck, like I wish I just gave it a go, because there's literally no harm in failing as long as you've tried. And you've tried to give it a go. You literally can't have any regrets, because you gave it a go and you've got that on your conscience, knowing that.
And it's almost like, if you do, what could happen? Either if you do it and you try and do it, either it doesn't happen or it does happen. And if it does happen, then good for you, like brilliant, perfect. This is exactly what you wanted. If it doesn't happen, you're at the exact same point where you were if you had decided the other option, which was just to not do it. I mean, you're probably about a grand up as well, but money comes and goes.
Yeah,
it
definitely comes and goes.
If you're looking for like something big, if you want to take the step out there, you've got to make big decisions. You can't do big decisions.
Even the rich of the rich, like think of millionaires that have got £1 million industries. Even they take £1 million risks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, the more money you get, the bigger the risk is, because you're risking all that, and you know what I mean. That's how it goes. That's how the rich get rich. You know what I mean.
Where do you see the future of Crep Candle?
Crep Candle.
And do you want to get into any other business ventures? I can imagine you do.
Yeah. I've got a couple of ideas in mind. To be fair, the ones that I've thinking of starting up, but obviously I need the time and the space to do it, because everything's just still so much Crep Candle. What was the question again? Where do you see the future of Crep Candle? Where do I see the future of Crep Candle? So I want Crep Candle to be a staple centerpiece for like our younger generation. So say for example, like Yankee Candle is the first thing that comes into everyone's mind, or Joe Malone. Well, to a certain demographic. Yeah. So like, let's say Joe Malone, females over the age of 18 to, let's say, below 40. I want my demographic to be men and women, boys and girls, like in the younger generation, up to 40, up to 35-ish. To this be like the go-to established cool candle sort of thing. I want people to be... I want to build a proper brand, where people can be invested and be rewarded and, can show off.
I can definitely say, from how quick it's grown, I definitely think it's there. And like I said, I'm not saying this just because you're in front of me, but I've never seen an idea like this. And
thank you.
Like I said, with the people that you, like, obviously, I'm not going to say the stores, but you already told me about the stores, and you told me about the people that have been messaging you in the DMs. Like, it's definitely a good sign that you're along the right track.
Yeah, man, defo. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, sometimes I'll have weeks where I don't get messages off anyone. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? My business is falling apart. Like, oh, it's all going to pot. It's like, it's not. It's just,
you've got to be patient.
Patience is key. I'm so young in the game. I've got to be patient. That's why I've spent like the last month. I've not done as much marketing on the side of things with Crep Candle. I've taken a little bit of a step back, focused on the actual product themselves. And just come up with a plan really. I mean, I've booked a holiday for the 20th of July. So
where are you off?
I'm what's it called now? Mallorca in Spain. So should be decent.
Some warm weather.
Should be decent. Warm weather.
Yeah.
So I've got everything ready, planned, done before I go on holiday, so I can have a nice
relax, and you can hopefully enjoy the success.
Yeah, literally, man. We'll
finish off with this, what advice would you give to any young people that are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, or anyone that's older that's still got any interest in becoming an entrepreneur?
Go for it, just go for it, 2-foot it, fully at it, because if you don't do it, you're never going to get there. And to set yourself out from the competition and to set yourself out from everyone else, you've got to do things that are big, bold, and money comes and goes. Say for example, if you've thought of a business idea and you've spoke to manufacturers and suppliers who you can think and do it, and they've just quoted you $1,000, right? Don't look at the short term, look at the long term. That's how it is with everything. You've got to look at the long term. It starts with habits, daily habits. You've got to ingrain the good habits into you that'll continue to make the good decisions, if you know what I mean. Saving your money so you can be prepared for when this sort of stuff happens. Because to think of a business idea, don't think for a business idea, guys. Think how to solve a problem. That's what it is.
There we are.
Solve a problem. Don't think of a new business idea, because that's what I got taught when I did my entrepreneurship course in Australia. It was obviously went a lot more in depth, but what it pretty much came down to was if you've got a problem and no one else can solve it, someone else is going to have that problem, and then you're going to be the person to solve it, and you ain't going to solve it for free. You know what I mean? It's going to come with a cost, and that's not a cost for you anymore. It's a cost for them, and
that's how it works.
That's how it works. But yeah, don't look for a business idea. Look for a problem, and don't be scared. Go for, because I was scared obviously doing it, but I have no regrets. Even if it went terrible, I still have no regrets. Even if it went down into the pot now, no regrets. No regrets. The more you learn from it, man, and you gain from it, it's life-changing stuff. So, and if it never happened, you know what I mean? Imagine if I didn't actually go through with it.
You wouldn't have had the success.
I won't be sat here on this podcast. You know? But yeah, I'd still be working in Lidl stacking shelves. Nothing wrong with Lidl, obviously. Good wage in Lidl. Good job.
Everyone's got to get a job.
Big up Ben. But it weren't what I wanted to do. I didn't set out when I was born to go stacking shelves. I set out to be my own boss and do what I wanted to do. And you're never going to get there if you don't actively go and do it. And it's also be strict on yourselves as well. You got to be strict.
Self-discipline.
If you're telling yourself you've got no time, wake up earlier. Go to bed later. Make the time. You're not the busiest person on earth. There's busier people than you. You know what I mean? So yeah, a bit of motivation for you guys.
There we are. Harvey Prince. He said it here. It's been a pleasure to have you on, mate.
It's been a pleasure to be here, pal.
Honestly, been a good chat.
Yeah.
Make sure you get one of these. What's the website? What's the Instagram?
Crepcandle.com is the website. Releases those Jordans, the TNs and the Air Force are now available to buy 24/7. So I've been working up to get them stocked up there.
Link will be below.
So a Jordan Air Force TN you can get whenever you want. Hopefully if they're in stock, if they're not sold out. The limited releases, the 95, 700s, any other new shoes, they'll be being released on the 15th or 16th, limited release, and then new collection as well coming next month. Keep an eye out for that. It's going to be big. You're all going to like that one as well, trust me.
There we are. Thank you, mate. Good to have you on. That's peace. We're out.